The 30th day of November, 1984. 3 o'clock at night. The grim city. Dr. Colin's laboratory. The November night was dark and cold, as if even the stars did not want to illuminate this gloomy world. Rain poured from the sky, drops touching the ground, and sounded like groans.
I curse. The cops are already here.
Norman's thoughts are full of premonitions and danger. He cannot trust anyone.
Collins, where did you get involved again?
The laboratory was silent. Norman felt his stomach tighten with alertness. On the floor lay his old friend. The blood was still fluid and sticky. He felt a premonition of danger, as if an ominous ghost was watching him from the shadows. The smell of death and horror hung in the air. A fat, dark-skinned cop entered the lab with a look of displeasure on his face. His heavy footsteps sounded in the silence of the building, and his breathing was difficult due to shortness of breath.
Norman, damn you. Stop sticking your nose in.
What happened here?
The cop was taken aback by such impudence.
The Jinkies got into Rob. Poor Collins. Now get out.
Okay, I leave. John, your donut diet is getting results.
The cop gasps for air. He abruptly turned to Norman, ready to throw out the fire of his anger, but realized that he was already far away, without hearing a word from his mouth. Norman was already at the exit, and he didn't care. It continued to annoy the cop. Norman was busy thinking about the upcoming murder investigation. He was sure that this was not an accident. Heavy thoughts swarmed in his head.
Dumb dough, nothing new. The safe was not opened. That's one. Nothing was taken from the shelves. That's two. Windows and doors were not broken. That's three. Collins knew the killer and let him in himself. That's four.
December 1st, Green City Times, number 335. Last night, scientist Dr. Collins was found dead in his laboratory. The police are treating this as a murder and robbery.
Professor Miller, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Dr. Kane, good to see you. I just spoke to the police. How terrible what happened to Dr. Collins.
Yes, I was in his lab the day he was killed. He worked with you, as I remember.
Yes, we worked together for many years. He was a very talented scientist.
The police said it was a robbery, but there seems to be more to it than just theft.
Yes, Collins has been very nervous lately. Someone constantly came to him. It was a man from the Arsenal Technology. He always had a black case. I don't know what it was, but Collins shouted at this man that he would never do it. I think it may be related to his death.
I wonder who it was. Maybe I have to visit the Arsenal Technology.
Be careful, Dr. Kane. These are very dangerous people, but I know that you will find answers to your questions.
Dr. Grayson, I heard you were the last person to see Dr. Collins alive.
I'm a very busy person. Speak quickly.
You were seen in the lab with a black case. I'm sure you were in the lab on the day of the murder.
The conversation is over. I'm afraid we'll never see each other again. Lizzie, ask Danny Stern to take the trash out of my office immediately.
Dennis Stern walked down the corridor with quick, determined steps. His eyes are focused as if he sees only the target. Its appearance gives the impression of a combat machine.
Now I know who the killer is. That's one. I have no chance with the guards. That's two. There was a window at the end of the corridor. That's three. I don't have any evidence, but I'm sure Grayson is guilty. I need to work fast.
Today it became known that the government has signed a state contract with the Arsenal Technology for the production of cybernetic implants for the Army. These implants will strengthen the combat power of soldiers and increase their survival on the battlefield. But some experts fear the possible negative consequences of using such devices. How these contradictions will be resolved, we will find out later.
Norman felt a little anxious when he approached Collins' house. His thoughts swirled around possible scenarios. When Norman knocked on the door, Shuhu opened it. Norman noticed that he looked tired and tense, but Shuhu greeted him amiably and invited him in.
I'd like to ask you a few questions about a project your husband Collins was working on.
I do not know what you are talking about. I have no right to disclose confidential information.
I need proof. Collins was killed, and I have to find out what happened.
I can't tell you anything. But I know that Collins had a personal journal in which he kept notes about the project. You can check his office in the lab.
Thanks for the information. I will definitely check his office.
I hope you find what you are looking for. But be careful, Norman. Some things are better left unanswered.
Freeze. Norman Kane, you are charged with double murder. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Okay, Kane, what the hell was that?
What are you talking about?
Don't try to lie to me, Kane. I'll find a way to make you.
Your empty threats won't help you find the killer.
Kane, do you think you're going to get out of this so easily? You're a suspicious type, and I'll keep an eye on you until the end.
Your stupid accusations won't make me change my words. Do whatever you want, detective. I am not to blame for this crime.
We'll see, Kane. We'll see. Now get out. You've been bailed out.
Lucy, don't think I'm grateful to you. I could have done it myself. But you better not try to use it against me.
You have to drop this case. You don't imagine what kind of people they are.
I know what I'm doing, Lucy, and I'm ready to go to the end.
Norman moved through the narrow alleyway that seemed deadly tight to him. He knew that this path could lead him to any nightmare, but he was not going to stop. The only thought that pushed him forward was about the records that could shed light on the mystery of Collins' murder.
Only you, Danny, stand between me and the truth.
He tensed up and was ready to fend off any attack. He looked at Danny, trying to guess his next move. In Norman's mind, thoughts were spinning about the fact that he would have to survive at any cost.
I must win. I must get these records.
And then, when everything seemed lost, he saw his chance. Norman attacked Danny without hesitation. His strike was precise, strong, and fast. Norman heard a loud crunch of bones in Danny's nose. He fell to the ground, leaving Norman alone with his thoughts.
I must do this for Collins.
Danny's apartment was small and dark. The room was cluttered with various items, as if Danny had never cleaned up. Everything in the apartment seemed worn out and tattered, and Danny paid no attention to his living space. The air was thick with the smell of cigarette smoke and dirt, creating a stuffy atmosphere. It was an apartment that seemed unfit for living, but for Danny, it was his home.
1st of December, 8 a.m.
Grayson demands to find Collins' records. Check out his house. Make sure Mr. Shuhua doesn't say anything.
1st of December, 11 p.m.
Danny, Dr. Grayson is getting impatient. When will Kane be finished? Contact us immediately.
Damn. This is Collins' notes. Time to get out of here.
February 24th, 1984. Grim Federal Court.
The court has considered all the evidence presented regarding the murder of Dr. Collins and his husband Shuhua, including the voicemail recording of Danny, Dr. Collins' diary, and the confession of Lizzie Miller in organizing the murder of both men. Based on this, the court finds Lizzie Miller guilty of organizing the double murder and sentences her to 20 years in prison. In the case of Norman Kane, The court takes into account the fact of excessive self-defense and sentences him to 5 years of imprisonment. The court is adjourned.